Being diagnosed with lupus is life changing. I think it's imperative that we build community to kind of combat this thing together. For things like the sadness you fall into frequently, I don't know if I'm just speaking for myself, but also sharing tips and tricks on how to manage flares, and also having that real conversation about how pushing this thing into remission is a real thing and you can do it for good. These are all the things that I want to talk about with you. When I first got diagnosed with lupus, I honestly thought I would be fine because I had already been doing research and, comparing my flares and what's been going on with me to kind of figure out that I had something autoimmune. So I thought I was preparing myself to like take the news. But it really is true. Like, you don't know how you're gonna feel when the shit actually hits the fan. Because when my doctor, my rheumatologist, she told me that I had lupus, at first I was like, okay, I knew that. But then I was like, I have lupus. What? No, wait, hold on. That was totally me. And then out of nowhere, like the sadness set in. And I just couldn't shake like the reality of the fact that, I mean, shit, I'm immunocompromised at the least. Just waking up. I just really felt the weight of maybe it's time for me to start seeing life totally different, like in a way that I had never imagined or maybe even wanted to see life. And that made it even sadder because now I'm not choosing how my future is gonna go. If I'm being honest, it took me down. And also, like, with me being sad already, like everything that I was thinking about that I was gonna have to change just felt even more like dramatic. I mean, when you're already sad, like, it's worse. But like, it was bad. It was bad. I was in the bed. Like, I mean, granted, I was having flares, so I was probably gonna be in bed anyway, but I was like in the bed mentally. Like, I just wanted to like kind of just curl up and just lay there and just think about all that I've lost. And that brings me to my first point of how I really brought myself out of like that darkness. I was so focused on what I lost. I was just like, well, what about if I focus on what I gained, I've always been a very healthy person in general, and I always like prioritize what I ate and working out and, mental and spiritual health, like things like that. I've always been like that. But then I was like, well, maybe this is an opportunity for me to build on that. Like now I have like, not that any other reason that I had before wasn't real, but I have like a real reason, like i.e. my health, to kick these things up a notch, And that's how I kind of started. And then I just started looking for other things that would change, but also make my life better and kind of add to my life if even. The hardest part I think you'll have if you're newly diagnosed is grieving your old self and accepting the new one. And I feel like I'm a lot better now, but I have a feeling this is gonna be a process that I am on for a long time, or just for a good while. I'm good, but to just forget about it and not think about it and not feel like a little inside when I think about it, I think that's gonna take a while. For instance, I don't know how far you are in your journey, but I'll just let you know if you don't know yet. Something that you probably are gonna have to think about is sunscreen a lot. Like, just the fact of having lupus, the sun really affects you. Like, for me, it makes me tired if I overdo it, if I'm in the sun too much. And even sometimes when I wear sunscreen, but just knowing that that's something that I have to be mindful of or watch out for, like, that makes me think about like different plans in my life, like when I'm going on vacation, or like how often I have to buy sunscreen. Like, I have to remember that, or it's gonna affect my health, and therefore my lupus, and then therefore my energy, and like that's not what I'm trying to do. And obviously I have to have energy to do the things that I want in my life. So it's like it's another thing that I have to think about. That's an example of the thing that I was grieving about my old self. My old self didn't have to worry about that. My old self could just plan any trip in the tropics, any trip anywhere that's warm with the sun blazing, and it would have been fine. I didn't have to think about it. But now I'm a person that does. And just having that, in a sense, taken away just is something that I was grieving. And that could just be the Aquarius in me, just like always want things the way that I want it. I didn't make me like this. But I was just like, why? I had to make room for my new self and create a beautiful room for her, not just like, oh, well, here's your little space. Like, I had to be intentional about the room that I set for her, because if I want her to be well, this new version of me, I have to give the special treatment that I was given the old version of me. And that's just that on that. So basically that means like being gentle with myself. If I wake up today and I'm not able to move my legs as easy as I had the day before, or my wrists are hurting, or I'm feeling tired even though I haven't done anything, that isn't room for me to be like, ugh, another day of another flare. Like, I mean, I get the days that I do that, and I try to snap out of it very quickly, but just in general, like, that's not the energy that I want to be giving off. Like, being gentle with her, giving her space, is something more like, hey, today's not the best day, you know, but at least your legs still are moving. At least you can get out of bed today. At least you have energy to go downstairs in the living room, because me and my old, you know, we remember the days where I was in the bed, chest hurt and couldn't get up, wheezing. Like, we remember those days. So let's be grateful. Let's be grateful. And that's just what the type of energy that I try to bring forward, so that the room that I create for her, the space that I create for her, feels like it's welcoming to her, not just like, well, here you go, you know? And the last thing is, I had to start appreciating my body differently. I know people always say, your body's a temple, like, don't, like, yeah. But really being intentional about noticing your body and what it does for you every single day. Because the one thing that's in this world that is always gonna be fighting for you, even when you're not fighting for yourself, is your body. Did I lie? Like, it's your body. Like, when you're running, I'm not trying to yell at you. But I'm just saying, like, but yeah, back to what I was saying. It's never gonna leave you hanging. Like, when you're running and you're not getting as much oxygen as you need, all of a sudden now you're breathing like 2 times faster than you were before, because your body's like, let's get this oxygen in here. Let's do it. I'm gonna do my part, you do your part, breathe, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, never gives up on you. So even when your legs are stiff or your arms are stiff, like, your body's still fighting that inflammation, because if it wasn't fighting it, you probably wouldn't be walking at all, you know? Like, I just think it is really important to remember you're not alone, because your body has your back. So treat it well, you know, try to be intentional, try to be proactive, you know, with treating your body well, because it's really all you got. So when it comes to managing flares, I think there are 4 key things that you should really think about. So that's incorporating an anti-inflammatory diet, really tightening up your sleep routine, making sure you're getting daily movement, and being really tight on your hydration. So I'll say, when it comes to anti-inflammatory diet, I'm still pretty new to it. I think the biggest thing is staying away from seed oils. I'll list them all right here that are, you know, triggering to the immune system. Not eating red meat too much, like in moderation. I pretty much have chicken. I've been trying to get different substitutes for like butter and sour cream and things like that. I have a couple of favorite snacks that I get from Whole Foods that are really good on the body and that don't really trigger inflammation, especially if you eat it in moderation. Let's move on to sleep routine. So basically, it's a really good idea to tighten up your sleep routine when you have lupus. Like having a set wake up time and a set bedtime, it creates a sort of rhythm within your system that's familiar to your immune system, so it doesn't really put you out of whack. Stress, that really does play a big part in your lupus flares, how frequent they are and how bad they are. So I haven't done it yet. I still plan to. I'm still working on it right now, but I'm gonna start waking up at 7 so I can give myself a little hour of like calm, peace time. And then at night, I think I'm gonna go to bed at about 11. So that gives me like, I don't know how many hours is that?
15.
Yeah. And as far as daily movement, like obviously daily movement is going to be really good for anything, just for your overall health, but definitely for lupus because it helps with stress and oxidative stress and cardiac health, which sometimes in a lupus patient can be an organ that's affected, so you want to keep your heart strong, obviously. And then just overall health, like it just helps with the mental health, you know, all of that, which again helps the stress, so then therefore less flares. But just overall a good habit to make when you're managing lupus. And lastly, I'll say hydration. Now, I used to be a nurse, so the one advice that I will always give people is drink your water, okay? You'll be surprised at how many illnesses and things that come up that started from being dehydrated. It's almost like if you're dehydrated, you take down your initial shield for things to get in easier. But if you're hydrated, it's a little harder for it to get in or stay. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, just drink your water. Drink your water. So I've been doing a lot of research on different natural things that I can incorporate in my diet, like just to have frequently, that can bring some benefit to the flares. And I have all my stuff here, so just. So the first tonic I have is a daily lupus tonic, and it has yellow dock root, burdock root, turmeric powder, Ceylon cinnamon, and I have the recipe here. I'm really interested in the natural ways of doing things because I just feel like they give you a longer, I just feel like the benefits are more real, meaning what you do receive as far as a benefit, it was actually becoming a part of your system and not just kind of something that's happening for now. I'm in the business of really wanting to fix it in the long run, you know, go into remission as we spoke about before. So yeah, if you want those, just let me know and I can do another video. When it comes to self-care, I feel like that's something that you also have to be super intentional about moving forward. Do the self-care facial. Take your time slowly throughout your day. Like, allow yourself to breathe throughout your day for the sense of peace and calmness that you do want. Like, create routines for yourself that promote calmness and stillness and clarity and things like that. And something else that I'm really going to start incorporating is Epsom salt. Epsom salt baths and really setting the tone, like with the candles and things like that. Like, I'm really going to start incorporating that into my routines to really like just love on myself. I feel like with this, one of the biggest cures is to love on yourself. Just do it more. And then obviously vitamins. Let's see. So I have like this long list of vitamins that I've like researched about, including using chat to kind of build my remission plan for the vitamins that I plan to incorporate over time. Because obviously you can't just start taking all of them at once. You know, give it like 2 weeks to a month to see like how it affects you, so you can know if you need to keep it or you don't. It's trial and error for sure, but trying is always best. So yeah, I have all of these vitamins, and basically it's geared to pushing me into a remission, and it covers things like fish oil, collagen for the gut, because a lot of times if you have lupus, it's because, well, it's commonly because you have leaky gut or something with the GI, because the GI is your second brain, and if that's messed up, trust and believe, there's gonna be a lot of other things that's not doing too well. There's a good amount of things that could really keep my system optimum, so that the other things like lifestyle things that I'm doing will have the best chance of making big differences. Kind of work around all angles. So if you want that list that I'm gonna start implementing in my routine, just let me know. But yeah, that's the video basically. It wasn't too much detail, but basically I just wanted to come on here and let you know that you have another person that is dealing with lupus, and we can do this together. Let's just be real, we need it, you know? So if you have any tips and tricks that you're doing to manage flares, if you just want to vent and talk about your experience, definitely put it down in the comments. And that's it. I hope you got something out of this video today, and I'll see you next time. Love, love, love.